am curious. Like, what was it that you said that they were like, you know what, Mike's right?
I don't remember.
fucking
I
I
just
think
hate
you were
each other.
egging on an
impression.
a very clear thing that they clearly like pissed them off or something.
Yeah, they were definitely butting heads in a way that was like obvious if you were sitting there.
Sure.
And you could tell that it was like bothering one of them more than the other, but then they were both kind of getting angry, and I was just like, oh, that, you guys should explore this. Like, really, like, let's peel this open. Then I think Robbie couldn't stop doing impressions, and Mike was kind of like short-circuiting over that. So I was like, Robbie, you're good at impressions. I was like, I am really enjoying your
This
impressions.
is really great.
Yeah, just the frequency needs to step it up.
Yeah, you should do them like the whole pod.
It's just mutants. We're surrounded by mutants. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like,
We
even
were talking about this just a second ago about how comedy is like it's just made us like kind of like not appropriate for like polite society because of the way that we like talk to each other.
yeah, it does suck. And you hang around with your. I mean, at least you have your wife's a comic, so that's kind of nice. And then like your friend group is all kind of comics. Now it's not like you have to deal with other people who are.
I have normal friends.
Mm.
I actually have a lot of friends that don't make sense in comedy because they're like, like they work at Tesla and live in Seattle or like, like those kind of things. You do that a lot and I don't love it. No, you guys
Just
this
reacting.
Is,
Andy's
just reacting.
tight butthole face though when he just goes, I have normal friends. It was the funniest reaction to that.
Peter's been
very human.
Peter's
Very human.
been breaking me down a lot lately.
No, I
No
have
kidding.
not.
Well, you
I've been
guys are
nothing but kind.
very like. If I could, from the outside, observe, just this is the spectrum of man.
Yeah.
right here is because you are roll out from under a car like, hey, bash me my.
Kind
But here's the
of.
thing:
It's
is
not
he's,
really.
He's
a new
very
carburetor.
progressive, and I actually think that
Yeah.
that Peter's like one of the most. I would say this: he's one of you're still a psychopath, so
I know.
take this with a grain of salt.
Getting better.
But he's like one of the more normal, like like the shit that we stress about, where it's
You
like I
say-
didn't sell out the thing.
oh, I don't care about
Peter's
any of that.
like, you got up tonight.
I don't really care.
You went home.
Yeah, no.
You kissed your wife.
I know. And it's like, you have children too. And you're like, when will it be enough? I'm like, you have a child.
Yeah.
You made
Yeah.
something. And
No, I wish I had that ability though to at least localize appreciate, like because
Yeah.
it's work for me to have appreciation and gratitude, even though it's ever present. But for me to harness it and to be conscious of my own appreciation for my life, that takes like accessing.
I think what happens is maybe when you have no success and like it just, and then it comes like a little bit, you're like, this is great. But I feel like if you get it early or something, like I was talking to another comic, and I just feel like they're like, it's going to keep raining gold. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never had that. I've just taken a long time to get anything. So it's just they need little fucking crumbs that come. I go,
Where does that humility come from, Peter?
not getting things.
Even as a youth,
No, what is that? I don't know. I guess I'm not
because you're
really
a good,
sure.
you're a good-looking guy that
That's
has
true.
great hair.
That's
and I
also true.
assume
Sorry.
that you had kind of a smooth ride through middle and high school.
No, I was very ugly. Braces, acne, all until like, and then like 16 came, and it was like, oh, everything's different now.
Yeah,
It took that long.
that's when you got like puberty
That's
started.
right. I don't know about
started to
puberty.
arise.
It's just that it just grew up and lost. I was such a fat kid, and then I just lost weight. I just smoked pot and played handball all day, and I was like, it worked
That's
for me.
another one of the
Worked for me,
interesting
could work for
details
you.
of him is he's an avid handball player, which
Not
is
Well, that's the
anymore.
second time
One
I've
of
heard
the-
handball since he got here.
one of the
and I
only
It's a big
white
part. It
guys-
was a big part
Nobody's
of my
talked
life.
about handball
one of the
since
only
I was
white
at my
people I know
grandparents' house.
that plays handball.
Juice. Yeah. It was Goldman and Sweet. What's that?
I didn't hear it.
What?
I didn't get the reference.
It was all like Jewish people who played handball, but now it's all Puerto Ricans and some white people, mostly Puerto Ricans.
Everybody, this is Peter Revello, very funny comedian.
I like Puerto Ricans.
One of my first.
Despite the tone in which I said it
Me
earlier.
gusta Puerto Ricans.
That's good.
I do.
Yeah,
I have many Puerto Rican
it's
friends.
not that very Trumpish.
Yeah.
Me gusta.
Me gusta.
I can't do Trump.
Everyone can now. It's annoying.
But Peter's one of the first people I met when I moved back to New York.
That was nice.
No shit.
Yeah.
In when? What,
movie-
We
wait,
worked for the moving company together.
no kidding.
You were good though. It was nice. I was like, this, because like he came back and like, this guy can't move, because that's all I had was moving.
Oh, so you judged people based on their moving skills.
You know what? And then you meet the people who who are in comedy who also move, and then you move with them, and they're like, oh, this is why you're not successful. Like you can see, like they're just so stupid.
Totally.
Andy wasn't one of those. All right, Andy was amazing, and I was like, God, he's a great mover, great comedian, handsome boy.
Thanks. I remember he said the nicest thing to me. I got a job at Bleacher Report, and I wasn't working at the company anymore. And he did like the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon thing, where he was like, "I hope I don't see you very much around here," kind of thing.
Because when you came back to the moving company, it was. I know it was probably really bad for you, but I mean, everyone
I think
else.
it was worse for me. Yeah, I think it was.
Peter had the hardest time about it when you from full-time.
When I used to have a parking spot on the Warner Brothers lot, and now I'm in a home of a deceased man in Staten Island. Yeah, I was pretty bummed.
It was
that kinda took it out of
demoralizing
me.
for everybody. I mean, everyone came to like, no, Andy's like, because you're supposed to get out. You get out of the movie.
He was out.
Yeah, he was out.
He was out.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Everyone's like, what? Andy's back, and everyone's like, oh fuck, it's impossible.
You know what's funny?
It's impossible.
Do you know what's funny though is
impossible.
that I pick up shifts still here and there,
Oh.
and I actually I had to come to terms with it the other day.
You like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's the only explanation for why you still do it. There's no way you need to. There's no way.
Well, that's not going.
Well,
to
I do need extra money.
Oh, we do that in depth on this show.
No, really?
Yeah, we roll through each of our taxes.
Oh yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff like that. But no, I realize I think the biggest thing about it is that I don't know if I said this on this. I might have just been talking to another mover about it. But comedy is so out of our control. We can post clips, we can write new jokes, we can write the emails, we can try to be like.
But you can always move furniture.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you get presented with a task.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I miss like it was good for my brain. Like just and it's such an easy thing where you're like, you pick the stuff up, you put it in the truck, you put it somewhere else, and people go, nice job.
And then they give you cash.
They give you cash.
Yeah, I was thinking that for a while when I coached.
You would have been great. You would have been
I
a great
have
mover.
moved before. It's a difficult job. I just don't have the sustainability to do something that physical over time.
You have what it
Yeah,
takes.
I
Mike.
get broken down over that, like, and I get very angry. Like
I feel so
You-
strong.
Perfect. These are all checking all the mover boxes.
Yeah.
Like
This is exactly what- yeah.
Anger's one of the. You
Yeah.
have to be angry.
No, I remember. I think I set up some sort of garden show once. Like I moved for a day or two or something like that, and did an event. And I was like, that might have been one of the hardest things I've ever done. Fuck that forever.
We've had those days, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one night it was like the first year I was moving. I had to sleep in the truck because we got home so late from a moving job. It was like 4 a.m.
And
like
you
I'd
had
have to
another move the next day.
Yeah, and move the next day. So I'm like, I could either drive home for an hour and then sleep for an hour and then drive back, or I'd just sleep in the truck. So I just
Yeah.
like covered myself with moving blankets.
There was a lot of
I
dudes.
felt like a fucking cash in my pants. I was in a moving blanket. I'm like, what the fuck is
You're
my
like
life?
Casey Jones and Ninja Turtles.
Bro, just
in
absolute,
more ways than you know.
Yeah.
Dude, well, my problem is the things I like about jobs like that is the taking Adderall, smoking cigarettes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
moving is the secondary. Like that's
Oh.
just the background noise to just being like fucking gacked.
I
You know
just
what I
love it
mean?
because I just feel so strong.
No.
I just love it. Like I'm just like, oh, I'm in control.
But
Oh,
that's
you feel jacked.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
you're lifting up like I lift up wardrobes and I fucking bring them upstairs and
but I did. All right. So then I worked for two moving companies. One in Brooklyn, which is, and then the other one was in Staten Island. The ones in Staten Island, marble. Because you're moving.
Oh,
stupid
yeah, yeah.
Italian.
Fucking
so
Italians.
They bro, a marble bookcase.
Yeah.
Why? You don't read. You don't read. And it's a marble bookcase.
It's
and they're just
literally-
like, it's fucking
And there's
everything.
a strict no winch rule.
yeah. Every move in Staten Island is like, we got this glass cabinet for all of our like
Yeah.
like
Nazi
plates,
China.
plates with pictures of dead cops on them. We had to have it's an oak and glass cabinet the size of a fucking
It's
you know
never
like,
forget Curio. And
Yeah.
it's like mirrored everything. Crazy, bro.
Yeah,
It's
and you
crazy,
would-
crazy. It's like heavy. We had to move pianos.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
bro. Pianos are
I've moved a piano. My sister had variations of different
Insane.
pianos, so we had to. Every time she got a new one, I'd have to move the old one out.
The last move I ever did on Staten Island, we were moving this guy. His dad had died, and he was a cop. He was a cop, and he had asked some local single mom to come help him.
That's what
And
we
the
do.
whole time we were moving, he was like hitting on her. And he's like, maybe like, we could get together sometime and like, maybe grab dinner or something.
So he's
and she's like, kind of like liking it, because she hasn't had a
It's
little
like,
action
come
for a
on,
little while.
Ralph, you're being naughty, Ralph.
And then we're taking all of this furniture to Long Island to this Nigerian guy who was his dad's nurse.
Whoa.
Right? So it's like all this giant furniture. We get to Long Island. The Nigerian guy is like, what the fuck is this?
Wasn't
He
expecting
just
it.
dumped it on him. He just, like, we showed up and he goes, what is this? Literally opened the truck. He goes, what is this?
Oh,
And
just
it-
a lifetime of shit into his own home.
Yeah, and he was such a dirtbag. He was such a I'm doing this guy a favor.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Yeah.
His house is just.
I moved Racine's, I guess, his wife's in-law, whatever,
Yeah,
they were,
yeah.
not in-laws, but her aunt and uncle, I don't know what they were. They lived on Staten Island. This was a disaster.
Like a marble peloton.
It was an absolute mess. I mean, they were nice enough people, but he
And
was
then
just,
Racine was there too.
bro, yeah. I
The
know.
worst, one of the worst, the worst in the world.
I saw him move, and I was like, "This is insane!" Like he's like, and
He
he's
could like break a box. Like I don't know how he
yeah, and then like he'll fart.
What
as
does
he's-
what does that mean though? Like to be a bad mover?
Like he'll hold a piece, and like you're walking down the stairs, and he's like doing this. Like I'm like, but you've been doing this for like
20 years.
yeah, like a long time.
And he's learned nothing about stability.
going
and-
one step at a time on the stairs, which is like
I just don't think Mike has a lot of like physical like agility. He's
Sure,
not like an
yeah.
agile person.
Don't you forget there's people out there that like literally have barely any control over their limbs?
You talking about women?
now. Come on, man. I know we're guys who have a little fun right now, but come on, man. Jeez.
I liked how you checked those men. That's good. That was good, Peter.
That was good. Yeah, we're growing. We're growing.
I would love it. It's like a woke men's podcast, but it's on Staten Island. That's
Yeah,
great.
come on, they're not all bitches. All right? Some of them are like kind of nice. They got thoughts in
They're
their
all
brains.
fucking nuts, but
Yeah.
they
Some
can
of them
do
are our
stuff.
mothers.
Yeah.
They're mothers and sisters.
Some of them are our mothers.
I forget what we were talking.
no.
Oh, Racine. Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, so we were there and we're just moving all this stuff, and like they have a dog that just bites. So we're like, it's like a Doberman, and it's just biting all the movers that are in the house.
like that. That's such a throwback. I haven't been to a house in
Yeah.
a long time where they're like, the dog will bite you.
Yeah, don't stick your hand near it.
Don't go near the dog. The
100%.
dog's locked up. He's trying to get his head through. He's like
Yeah.
punching a hole in the wall.
They literally said they don't like when your arms are above your waist. And I'm like, what do you mean, like moving? What do you mean, like when you're
Like
moving?
an example of moving. Yeah.
Picking something up.
Crazy. So yeah, the dog it bit me. It fucking bit me. It did. It didn't get the skin. It nipped my sweatshirt, and I just hate when like the dog people are like don't overreact at all. They're just sort of like, he's gonna do that.
The dog is a menace. What kind of dog?
Just don't lift
It was
your...
like a Doberman. It was
Yeah.
a
Oh,
fucking
fuck
like a
that,
dog
dude.
dog. It wasn't like a Yorkie.
Yeah, we told you not to lift your arms up.
That's
was-
a fucking nightmare.
It sucked so bad.
I got bit by a Dalmatian.
Oh.
Doing the same. I mean, they are
They're mean.
twats.
You were
Those
trying to
dogs.
Skin them though.
I was.
right?
I did
Yeah.
want to. I
You
did
were
want to
trying
fashion a
do
code.
that.
But it was my buddy's dog, and I had known it when it was a puppy. We hung out when we were in elementary school through middle school, and then we didn't hang out for like a year or two.
Betrayal though.
And I came back to his house, and I was like, "Oh, the dog!" Like, "Oh, Max, how you doing?" And the mom was like, "Don't pet the dog. The dog will bite you." And I was like, "There's just no way you, as the owner, will know that." And I could just put my hand right out to the dog, and the dog bit right through the middle of my hand, bleeding profusely. Had to call it a night.
What you could have done if you were a real scumbag, you could have been
Sue
like,
the shit out of him.
or be like, you got to put the dog down now.
I will not be belittled by
Yeah.
an animal.
Yeah, I
You
don't even
gotta
want
make this right,
compensation.
Denise. Kill your fucking dog.
That's got to be. Yeah, it's like I'm not suing you. I don't want money.
Right.
I want your dog dead.
A guy's so insecure that he needs vengeance from the dog. I want to see the dog die.
I want to be there.
People need to understand consequences. The universe has right and wrong, and the dog's wrong. Was it the only time I ever been bitten by a dog? I was sleeping with a woman in LA, and she had like a white kind of like it's not a Yorkie. I think Yorkies are black, but like a
Shih Tzu,
like a Shih Tzu, yeah. Kind of a thick Shih Tzu, kind of like a stout Shih Tzu, but like a silly looking dog. Like I think I met her because she was walking the dog, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" kind of thing. And I was getting done, and I was going to the bathroom to do the cleaning.
Yeah,
I was getting done.
I see the dog, and I go, "Hey, buddy," and he just bites onto my hand and won't let go, and I'm butt naked. Still have a boner, so I'm like
dripping cum.
Yeah, it was
a little bit.
It was pretty. It was pretty bad.
You must have been a little bit. I got. I told this briefly on. It was in a bit, but I got sexually assaulted by a poodle.
Oh my God! Thank God! I was like, "What the fuck? We're gonna do this now?"
No.
I was really like, I got sexually assaulted by. I was like, "Please be a dog."
But has that ever happened to you when you're like a standard sized giant fucking poodle? I was playing on the ground of like a family friend's house with toys or whatever, and this dog literally just got on top of me, pinned me down, and humped me till it was finished. I couldn't get up. Parents were laughing in my face, and I'm literally like trying to get up, and this dog's like, shut up, like mushing my face into a pillow.
No, mine was a babysitter.
Oh, come on, man. What? Talking about fucking, it's fun. The dog thing is fun. I don't want to hear this. God damn it.
Wait, Mike, what was the dog boy thing? That your dad called you?
Oh, my father used to call me dog boy because when I was like 10 years old, I was scared to take my dog for a walk in the pitch black dark. Wow. And he's just like, "Come on, dog boy, go out there, dog boy."
You still talk to your dad?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, again, we didn't for a long time.
Pussy.
Yeah. Now I've recanted on my Irishness, and
the tribes of Staten Island have a right where when you turn 21, you fight your dad and never speak to him again.
Literally happened. Literally.
You fought your dad?
Yeah,
I did too. Let's tell,
bro. It sucks. There's no winner.
No.
It's either you beat
How
up
many
an
times?
1.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
About 1.5.
There's always 1.5.
You punch your dad.
Yeah.
Do you feel? Can you tell the story?
I don't. It's
It's so funny because this is just another example of our last episode where it's just like, this is so alien to me.
Did you punch your dad?
Can I tell the I punched my dad story?
Please.
All right. So I think most people that have heard me on podcasts before may have heard this story, but I'll tell the abridged version. I went and visited my girlfriend at the time, who my wife now went to the same school, but she was at Syracuse, and I visited her, and I was like at a junior college thinking of where I would go. Ithaca was right there. I got very excited at the prospect of going to Ithaca. My parents had promised me, like, if I went to junior college, they would pay for any school I got into. And I had great grades. I was doing my end of the bargain, really was holding up everything. My parents were going through this vicious, unspoken divorce. Nobody knew about it. Like, everybody knew, but nobody would talk about it at all.
So similar story, the divorce, and then I got it. Yeah.
So I also I was on over the counter pro steroids at the time, which are methyl D and M1T and all that stuff, which is like.
Were you huge?
I was like 205. Like, it was the biggest I ever was. Yeah, I was a monster. So
I don't understand that.
With cornrows, right?
205 on
I
that
didn't have
frame?
cornrows at this point.
Oh, different time.
This is a different time. But I was really big and also like feeling myself because I was playing college basketball. I was, I just felt pretty good.
Did you get all the zit? Did you get like the tomato patch on your shoulders?
I didn't get it that bad. I got one or two that it would be fun to kind of go for the distance. I go, just see how it would arc.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, my friend who took so much juice, he actually walked on to West Virginia's football team. He got a whitehead that was literally this big, and my friend James popped it during a weightlifting session, and it dripped down his fucking back, through his shorts, into his socks. It was the grossest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like a boil. It was nuts. Katie Boyle. So...
Yeah.
Susan.
Sure.
What's happening?
Who is it?
I don't know. My dad.
Birth control.
So I What?
Yeah, get him.
Get 'em. Yeah, lady stuff.
Yeah, because you're a woman. If that wasn't perfectly clear.
I said birth control because chicks take it.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Sick one, Andy.
So I came home after this weekend with my girlfriend. It like felt like a college experience because I'm still living at home, like going to school and basically in the middle of my parents' tumultuous divorce while going to college, all this shit. And so I was like excited. And I'm like, I know where I want to go. I want to go to Ithaca. That's it. I came home.
Great.
My dad is like in the living room. Parents aren't speaking to each other. He's like, you're not. You're going to a SUNY and nowhere else. And it was just against like all we had talked about and everything. And I just like felt so betrayed immediately. Though I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And he just, I guess they probably just had it out 10 seconds before I even walked into the door.
Right. The
He's
flame wasn't out
already
yet.
tomato red like Alec Baldwin in a paparazzi's face, screaming like frothing from the mouth. And I'm on steroids. And I'm like, this is what I've been fucking
This is
training
why I take
for.
steroids.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm in his face. And my dad threw a punch at me. Like he
started it?
got so fucking frustrated. He just like stepped back and tried to uppercut me. And I
Whoa.
guess athlete, whatever, anger, rage, father.
You just caught his hands?
Dude, it's the coolest thing I've ever done to this day. I punched down and intercepted his hand. I punched his forearm and like dead armed him. And it was like, I'm not
He's like,
trained. I've never
"What?"
done anything like that. And then I literally, as if I was throwing from right to third, crow hopped and went boom and hit him directly crow hopped.
You crow hopped your dad.
That's
Crow hopped, punched him as hard as I could.
That's because your dad just stood there. You're crow hopping. He's like, where's this going to go? That's a weird time to jump. And
Interesting. This seems like the beginning of a violent act.
Yeah, right. Let's see where this goes.
So I hit him as hard as I can and as hard as I've ever punched anybody in my entire
crow
life.
hop? Yeah,
a crow
dude.
hop. But my dad is 6'2", like 265, 270 at the time.
No, he
took
didn't.
like two, maybe a 1.5 steps back, and
He
then
ate
just
it?
started marching forward
no.
like the fucking Terminator.
Oh,
and I ran out of my house, got in my car, and drove to Villanova.
yeah.
I just drove to Villanova to go party with my friends, one of which is dead now, but
Okay,
party
you
with my friends.
Peter again.
Jesus Christ.
I
man.
got arrested for underage drinking. I
the same weekend?
breathalyzed the whole thing. I have an anxiety attack. I go home early. I called on my way home, or no, the day before I left. I called the office of the ticketing. Like they give you a ticket at the end and you have to pay for it. It's all this money and blah, blah, blah. They say, we're sending a second copy home. So I call. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like I got the copy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to pay the fine when I get home. And they're like, yeah. They fucking overnighted it to my house.
Scumbag.
So I have this anxiety attack. I drive home. My mom's holding the fucking like FedEx or whatever it was and was like, what the fuck is it? You have a fucking underage drink. This it's $678, or you don't have a job. I was playing poker at the time.
Oh,
I had
Mike.
10 grand in cash upstairs.
Oh.
Literally walked upstairs, came down with a brick of cash, fanned out like 700, 800, whatever it
Keep the
was.
change,
and I
Mom.
literally said, keep the change, you fucking bitch. In the whitest, cuntiest sun,
Yeah,
you know,
just
whatever.
yeah.
And my mom's like, oh, what are you doing? Are you a drug dealer? And I was like, no, I'm a poker player. Like all noble. Like I'm earning it the right way.
I play cards.
Dude, and she's like, Kevin. And my dad comes walking, he sees the money. He's like, oh, good. Pay for your own college. And literally just walked back in the
This
living room.
guy.
We never spoke about it again.
Jesus.
Never brought it up between the two of us.
Did he have a bruise? I mean, that's crazy. You crow hopped and he just
I
ate it.
don't remember actually if he did have a bruise. He must have.
I know.
He must have. But I honestly don't remember if he did.
That's
It's so weird to me because boys did not fight their dads where I came from. Boys.
I came from a time when boys didn't fight.
Yeah,
their
they would
dad.
go, Dad. I know this is gonna be hard for you to hear, but I've decided that I will not be going to Berkeley. I got accepted to Whitman, and I really like their environmental sciences program. And he would go, I'm really happy for you. That's where I come from. Hey, that's really great.
I was kind of hoping that would happen.
Yeah.
Andrew, that's excellent.
It's good to know that you're going to be close to us. I love Walla Walla, actually. Some of the best Reds come out of Walla Walla. Anyways, so it's
You've
always,
never ever once gotten into like a confrontational like.
No, he seems like he has a good dad. It sounds like you have
I
a
kicked
good-
my dad in the balls when I was like 12, like as a joke. Like I ran
Oh.
around the car and I was like, you know, like just being like a kid.
And then what, he hugged
And
you after?
He went like this. He went, if you ever do that again, I'm going to kick you back.
Wow,
That was probably-
restraint. Wow.
Yeah, imagine kicking your dad.
Yeah,
if I
you know,
kick my dad
I
in my
mean-
ball, boom, like right. Yeah, you're like, okay.
My father wasn't even the primary hitter though. Like because he came in and was the cleanup. So my mom would bat 1 through 3, and then 5 through 9. But my dad would bat 4, and he would be the heavy, the hired gun
yeah.
when things got real.
Yeah,
My mom
bases-
hit me a couple times, but it was like, I deserved it. You know,
Yeah.
it was like being real bad, like calling her a bitch to her face kind of thing.
It's good. Yeah, sometimes you earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's hit my brother. I have an older brother, and
Everybody's hit him.
everybody in my family, my sister, me, my dad, and my mom, we've all hit my brother at separate times. We didn't like jump him. That'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome if a family jumped
Just
one
jump
sibling.
one.
We have a family tradition. You're inviting your fiance over for the first time. Every Thanksgiving, we pick one person, we beat the shit out of them.
Go on, sweetie, get in there.
We
Come
jump
on.
him into the Revellos.
Put your name in the hat.
Yeah, don't be bashful. Yeah, everyone's hit because he was difficult, but he's good now.
Yeah. Was
Oh,
he
yeah.
your younger brother?
Older brother.
What does he
Older.
do?
He's a stagehand, so he's
Oh,
in the
cool.
union. He's working on Broadway.
So he's strong then too.
Yeah, we both worked as movers. It was man, can I just say that? So like the movers in right,
Yeah.
like they're like crazy. There's ones in Staten Island, unhinged, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one time, you said Adderall and smoking.
Yeah.
These guys were doing blow in the morning.
Nice.
They were bringing 6-packs and
Well,
driving the
Folgers.
truck. Yeah, bro, 6-packs driving the truck.
Yeah.
And it's not even like the box trucks we have. These
Yeah.
were the 26-foot trucks
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
big
yeah.
nose.
Yeah.
So this kid, he's doing coke in the morning. I'm like, okay, we're in the back, and he's just like, he's doing okay. And then all of a sudden, about 3-4 hours, he keeps doing coke, and then all of a sudden, he starts getting like real tense like this. He's like, just breathing like that,
Mm-hmm.
and in like sweating, red. His eyes are bulging.
Not saying anything though.
Not responding to anybody. So
While driving.
he wasn't driving. Thank
Okay.
God. No, he's all right. He'll be fine. He'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
No, he was in the back.
He's just being weird.
Yeah, he's just come on, just that one, bro. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like bucket seats. So it's so it's like 4 of us in the back and 2 of us in the front. And so he's just in the back like this, just fucking the whole time, just not talking. We couldn't get him. We tried to drive him to the hospital. He wouldn't get out.
No shit.
So this is like hours now. This is like 2 hours of this kid just like he's like fucking like pressed against the seat like this. And we're
And
like,
he's not responding.
not responding. Not responding. So then we're like, what do we do with it? We have another move. We have to move a piano. We can't bring this guy who's like fucking spazzing out. Hey, we're
don't
gonna
worry
move
about
you.
that guy.
Yeah.
Who's that guy in your truck?
Just throw a moving blanket over him. That's his furniture.
He's a sculpture from our last house. It's a sculpture.
Yeah, modern art. I don't understand it myself. So yeah, so bro, like this, just the whole for hours. I'm not, no exaggeration, hours. And we're calling the manager, bro. What do we do? He's like, you got to go to the other job. I'm like, all right. So we went to this other job. He snaps out of it. All of a sudden, we get to the piano. He's like an automaton. All of a sudden, he's like, let me get him underneath it. Crazy.
Snaps out of it in like a lucid way, or just in
More-
terms of just like
yeah, he was still like messed up, but
Yeah.
he was able to. So we got that job done. I'm like, I'm gonna drive you home because you're in bad shape. So I drive him home. We're on the way, and I had to know, but now he's like communicating. So I was like, what happened? He's like, man, the angels were here pulling me this way, and the demons were pulling me this way.
yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? What did the angels look like? And he's like, they look like Vinny, one of the guys we work with. He's like, yeah, I was like, it had Vinny's face. And I'm like, what did the demons look like? And he just looks at me. He's like, it looked like you. And I'm like, fuck, this sucks. I'm like, but then I'm like, I'm not like the devil, right? Like, you know what I mean?
That's what the devil would say.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said to him. But I'm like, that is what the devil would say. I'm like, why are you still talking? So yeah, that was and then finally got him
That's
out.
I think that's like cocaine psychosis, right?
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
that like-
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. He was up for
fucking
days.
nuts.
We would have. I mean, we had some guys for the company. We should bleep out the company names probably.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But,
Wait, also, can I ask before you dive into that, when you called your manager to say something's wrong, what did you even tell the manager?
That he was just freaking out. That it was just like he
With
was
no
not,
explanation, like he did coke or
everyone
whatever.
that whole place was
They
like
just knew.
littered with it. Yeah, it was lousy with cocaine.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like it's a tough job. You're numbing your ailments and you're giving yourself energy to do the job.
Animals.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy who is a physical worker himself, I won't give a union or what he does, but he was,
Local
you know,
330,
he was on a very, very big job, and the pills, coke, like whatever, and the foreman would have to come over every day and be like, guys, I mean, we've heard stories. There's everything.
Yeah.
My friend would have an active bloody nose, like in the middle of a speech.
But that's what I mean. It's a hard like that's yeah. I mean, you were asked to do impossible things. Like you
Right.
have to work from like 7 a.m. sometimes until like 2 a.m.
Oh my god!
and you're working up like and it's just full just
97,
heavy as
like
shit.
95 degrees, 100% humidity, 6
Yeah.
flights of stairs,
So
bringing like a wooden couch, like up the just
like
like
gun safe. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
just
yeah,
insane
it's just,
shit.
yeah, just
A
the
gun
heaviest.
safe,
things.
you had to do that. That's fucking nuts.
gun safe. Yeah,
gun
safe,
safes are like
pianos.
2,000 pounds.
I know. Aren't they supposed to stay where they are
Yes.
forever?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's the idea.
Trying
Yeah.
to think of what are that. I mean, so many things that are just like unbelievably heavy, impossible things. But that's what I miss about it though. Like you get through a day like that with like 3 good guys.
Mhm.
That's just you can overthrow a government if you have
Yeah.
like 4 guys you can depend on,
Yeah, yeah.
and who are all pulling in the same direction. You can
Mhm.
do anything.
I like
you can
that.
do so much.
All right, I'm in.
I also like it just
Right
because
though,
I'm
like
yeah,
like you have like you can have an impossible job, but if it's like me, you, I don't know, Lane, to pick the best guys. We can, no problem.
yeah, like Santos, one
Yeah.
of those guys.
It's crazy.
Well, I really like it because like I come from such a like spoiled brat kind of existence, and also like I'm basically cosplaying as working class.
Yeah.
No, when you put in the hours, I mean, it's you would be like a method actor who would like lose like who am I? Because like you've put in enough moving
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. I'm
That's
more
like saying
mover than
Jake
I'm actor
Paul is
now.
not a boxer, which at this point it's like he kind of is.
Yeah,
he
he is.
trains every day and has for several years. I don't have that. I'm
Right.
not doing it.
But I hang out with these guys from like the Bronx, like all these Latin kids from the Bronx, and they're just from like such a different fucking world. You know, we're talking about life. There's one kid that like spent a year in Rikers for selling crack, got like locked up on a gun charge, and as a kid from like a wealthy white kid from a wealthy neighborhood in Seattle, I just sit there for like hours in the truck, and I'm like, okay, so wait. When you're selling crack, like, how do you let people know you
Okay,
sell
so this,
crack?
this
you
is
know,
all right. This is okay. Yeah, yeah.
and but it's like
He's like a Vice journalist that never puts out the piece.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, he's deep undercover for
That's
a
my
mission.
life.
But there's no mission.
Yeah, that's it. I'm undercover for just me.
Yeah. No, I feel that way though too. And especially with comedy, comedy puts you in so many fucking weird situations where you're talking to people that you don't normally have access to. I mean, listen, us at that gig in Schenectady, where it's like 200 something cops and us, and they're just basically spilling their secrets to us for whatever
know.
reason, raffling off AR-15s, like
Yeah.
doing, you know, a situation that we would never find ourselves in.
They're like, here's a bit. I shot a kid because he pulled out a can of Diet Coke. I thought it was a piece. You know, I saw the glint. I said, gun. Anyways, do that. That's your act.
but you can make it funny. though.
Do that.
I live with it every day. But, yeah, but the way you word it, I'm sure you could probably figure out a way to. Oh my god!
Oh, man.
I live with it every day. Oh.
Yeah.
But that's funny that you say that though, because like working, like you just work with everybody, and like that's what tripped me up about that kid that I was doing like that moving job with, because you want to judge this guy, but I'm like, I'm in the truck with you.
Totally.
All of our decisions, you doing coke every
We're all
night
in
and
the
me
same
trying
place.
to pursue stand-up comedy, have brought us to the same
Yeah.
exact place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
David Drake has a great joke about that. About it's like our company was just like it's like artists, writers, actors, and a lot of felons.
Yeah.
And you'd rather work with the felons because the writers. I remember one time, oh, bro, that was
The
a problem with
artists, the
Brooklyn shit.
dreamers trying to move.
Moving a couch. You're like, how you ever think that my green is your red and your red is? I'm like, brother, move the fucking couch.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
It's not this isn't a philosophical experiment of the
No,
mind.
and it's also such a means to an end that they actually think being lazy is somehow working hard at the other thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
like, well, because I'm not trying at moving, that means I'm writing more.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
and
that's
it's
not what that means. That just means
the
you're
worst.
fucking me in this job right now.
You know what's really cool though, when you're like, because like especially in Staten Island, we were working with all these kids. There's a neighborhood in Staten Island called Mariners Harbor. It's a little like rough or whatever. We'd all like we work together. You work together. You do that job. You're all this. It's the best. And they always wanted me to say the N word, and I was like, I can't. They're like, come on, man, just say it. You're really cool. We love you. Say the N word. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, but you can say it.
Did they have their phones out?
They did not. They just wanted
They just
me.
wanted.
I don't understand. Yeah, this guy
Yeah.
Body was like, you got to say it. I'm like, Body, I can't.
You never did.
No.
Never took the green light.
I couldn't.
Not
No.
me and Mike.
No. I was literally given the green light by my basketball team.
Oh yes, that's the
And it was I.
Oh, you let it
I
rip.
took the liberty like twice, and on the second one, I was like, I think I'm gonna be done with that. It was in a competitive atmosphere, and I was like, this is inappropriate on
Yeah.
every level. Nobody seems happy that I did that, myself included.
Mike.
I'm gonna back up. Yeah. Hey, before cell phones, we all let it rip.
I only know one white kid who was able to get like it didn't feel weird when he said
That's
it.
always a legendary white kid. A
Yeah,
white
yes.
kid that can comfortably use. It's like
Nobody had a
national
problem
news.
with
They're
it.
just
Have you
pale
seen that?
Dominicans, though. They're not even real white.
No, he
Have
was
you
a white
seen-
boy, Ralph.
Oh,
yeah,
no shit.
yeah, we
Have you
like
seen
handball
that
and-
fat white rapper with the red hair that uses it?
No.
Oh, he's
Zagalo?
great. No. But yes. No, but yes.
I just imagine somewhere Sagler all of a sudden he's like, what? Like he just like he just feels
Just him and his cat.
he's like, why do I feel bad all of a sudden?
Oh, I have a tummy.
But the white kid that could get away with it, like the white kid that could say it
Unbelievable.
and the black people around them didn't care, you were always like, he's magic.
Yeah, he's magic.
He's a super, he's something
That
else.
was Ralphie. Ralphie was able to do it. He got away with it. I mean, I think you just have to grow up like really poor and like
Totally.
It's just there's just certain.
You're not
There's an
even thinking about it
authenticity
like that.
behind
Yeah.
it with people like that, where you're like, oh, that's it flows in a way, and there's no real way to define it or explain it, but it flows in a way where you're like, this isn't being put on.
No,
Not
This
like
is
when
not
Schultz is talking to
irregular.
a Kosh.
that guy.
You can cut that out.
He's a
yeah.
friend. He's a friend.
He's a friend.
That's
Cut that out.
well. All right.
I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I
If
think
it
you
starts
keep
the
it in.
beef.
Wait, were you gonna tell before a Coke story or a moving story? I feel like you were like teeing something
Oh,
up.
I mean, there was just like I did it for multiple companies, and like back in the day, we didn't have any kind of like it was just so disorganized because it was like started by like a couple guys who just wanted to start a company, and then you can leave this part in, but they just like they didn't have any kind of like idea of the like what they were taking on. So like in the peak, like before I moved to
Oh,
LA,
that sounds
you would
awful.
start at 6 a.m. and you would end
Oh.
at 2 a.m. and then you would start again at 6 a.m. You'd have 4 or 5 jobs the whole day. This is all summer long. Like could eat.
Bro, it's
I could eat
crazy.
4
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
6,000
It does
calories a
not
day,
matter.
and I was shredded. It
That's
was just
crazy.
like, but I loved it in a weird, sick way. We've seen a lot of. You see a lot of guys move to New York. They get involved with the moving company and they stop really caring about
Everything else.
everything else because it's money. It's
You
a
make
hunt.
you make pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
I mean, so that kind of day, if you could probably make, you were probably making what, $800 a
Yeah,
day,
800,
easy.
yeah.
800 cash.
Wow.
That's one day, and then sometimes you'll just do, if you're feeling good and you feel like an insane person, you can just run. Do you know what times you can do like a 2-week run?
This kid Brendan Gay,
2
he worked
weeks.
90 days in a row. He saved $30,000.
Bro,
90 days.
Animals. Some of these kids. I mean, some of them
But
are
I just don't understand how anybody's body withstands.
The funny
that.
thing about that is he
You get
took
used
all
to
that
it.
money
4
to
hours
make
of
a.
sleep.
You get
Like 6 to 2.
But then you see, like, remember we worked with this other kid one time, and he was like, people would like fall asleep, like they'd fall off the truck. Like it was no, like you're really not supposed to do that, but you do learn what your body can do. Like you can do a lot.
You can do a lot. Yeah, it's like a ultra marathon kind of thing, like where you just are like,
You
I
just
can't
zone out.
believe I have
Burn
any
the
more.
boats.
But no, I like there would be guys through the old company that I'd work for, like because the old company I worked for, your crew was your responsibility, so they would give you the job,
Oh, and you'd have
and
to
then
text
you
everybody?
call your buddies,
Oh,
and you'd
yeah.
be like, "Hey, you want to work for today?" And if you couldn't find somebody, they'd find them for you.
Oh.
And so I couldn't find somebody, and they'd send me a guy
Who's like
and-
60 years old from fucking,
No,
Flatbush.
but this guy, fucking junkie from like 2000s Williamsburg, like a guy that like just like a Russian grifter, and he gets on the truck and he goes, "Yeah, I'm really, like I used to have a problem with heroin, but I'm good now." High on heroin while he said that.
He's like, "Bro, a lot of people think I'm still fucked up on heroin, but I'm not, bro. I don't know why they keep thinking that.
But he kept on telling me how good he was at getting tips from the client.
I'm the
Nice.
best,
And,
bro. Nobody can get tips like
He would
me."
like sweet talk the clients, but keep on dropping the hint very obviously that he was. And
But I'm not on heroin.
but at the end of the job, I like handed him his cash and I was like, "All right, good to meet you, man." And I just saw him like run across the street to the corner full of drug dealers. I was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's working like kind of a hard job to go get high on heroin."
There
That's
was
admirable.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, then sometimes you get like the real fringe. And then I remember we worked, I don't know if you work with that guy who's like, some of them were like 55. Sometimes you
yeah.
work with like older men.
Yeah, there was a lot of firefighters that do it on
Yeah.
their off days.
They were the best because then you can just park anywhere. They just put their placard and you just park
That's
on the
fucking-
sidewalk and you're
That's
like,
sweet.
man, what are you going to do? Yeah.
That's great.
That is one nice thing about New York is that like there's a certain amount of lawlessness that just nobody cares about.
If you're a fire,
Yeah,
well,
firefighter or a cop. Yeah.
Is it? I'm finding it so weird that I have no like tolerance for this type of stuff. Like
that is weird because I really feel like you'd fit right in.
But even when
Yeah.
I was a kid, like I would definitely fit in, and I feel like socially I would be fine. And even work ethic, I have a good work ethic.
Yeah.
But just the physicality and the endlessness of it really bum me out. Like that gets in my head to a point where, like, talk about working in a restaurant. Like you ever do that thing?
Sure.
I mean, I think it was in waiting where you play the don't look at your watch game.
Yeah.
And you're trying to see like how much time actually passes, and you're like, this is a solid 2.5 hours, and it's like 11 minutes. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's how I was when I did construction for a summer, and I did moving for like a week. Basically, I was like, dude, this life, I can't. I have my brain sucks for this because I'm
Yeah.
just fucking all over the place.
I don't know. It just something about my brain. It was like I got a task,
Mm-hmm.
and then I solved it by 4 p.m. and I walked away with cash, and it just made me feel like I don't know. I had control. I had a certain amount of authority. I'm really good at moving. I don't mean to like say that
Yeah.
like brag, but like I'm not.
I don't know if anybody on earth would take that as a brag.
That's fair. But what I'm saying is like, there's not a lot of things in my life. Like I can say I'm good at comedy, but I can't be like I'm the shit at comedy.
I disagree. I would like you to do that.
Thank
we got to
you.
get you there.
I appreciate that. But well, I wouldn't even want to be the type of
I
guy
know.
that'd be like, I'm the fucking shit at comedy. But
I
I,
feel like that's
am the
what's
shit
required,
at
though.
moving.
yeah. Yeah.
And so there was something about there's not a lot of things in my life that I've done where I can be like, no, I'm a professional. Like I
Right.
know I can solve almost any problem.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I loved it, and I'm just glad I don't really do it much anymore because it's just
Were there
the older
guys?
you get. I don't know how you still. I mean, but you don't put yourself in like bad spots anymore, though. You pick
No,
your
I
spots.
pick the job and
Yeah,
I do
so-
it like
Yeah.
And
twice
he's
a
not
month.
doing like the 13-hour day anymore.
No, totally. Yeah.
So like,
No, I'm going to Connecticut in my car.
yeah.
I'm bringing my dog. I'm having lunch at Whole Foods. Like it's not a bad.
Have you seen those guys though that have been doing it for so long that there's like physical?
The owner of the company.
Oh no shit.
oh my god, the first time I met him, bro, he was another guy who's like just zanned out of his brain. First time I met him,
Yeah,
I
cut
re-
the company name.
yeah, I really needed the job. So he's like, can you, because he needed drivers. He's like, can you drive? Do you have a
Yeah.
license? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you can drive a truck. Like, just not, there's no like, hey,
yeah.
I'd
No.
love to
What
see
kind of
you out-
license do you have?
No, just drive. You drive the
don't
truck
need it.
now.
Oh,
You
for no shit.
26-foot truck. You can drive it.
Yeah, you can drive a.
26 is huge though, isn't it?
Bro, it's
It's
an
insane.
oversight. It should not be legal, but yeah.
My
fuck.
first day in New York,
It's
my
a-
very first day living in New York in 2008, then I got there on like a Thursday night or something, and my friend said, hey, you said you were looking for a job? These guys need a guy tomorrow. I show up at a lot at 6 a.m. the next morning. They hand me the keys. This is like the old one, the one with the heroin guy. And he goes, all right, this is your truck. This is your job. There weren't phone maps at this time. I drove a box truck.
Oh man.
I drove a box truck on the Taconic and the FDR.
Oh my god.
Like nobody told me. I was just out there driving.
yeah.
I was like I hit a UPS truck.
Yeah.
I hit a
that happens. That happens.
I
Sometimes you
bumped
clip
into a traffic cop with the car.
Oh my god!
Where you know, like on Delancey, where they like stand in the street.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. They had those air brakes, and I like bumped into her a little bit, and she was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I shouldn't be driving."
First timer.
Yeah.
Dude, that's as big as like an in-ground pool.
Yeah.
26 feet.
It's an interesting
It's
frame of
huge.
reference. But yeah,
It's like the size of a semi without the
Yeah.
extended like cab. Yeah.
That's crazy. I would have so much anxiety driving one of those.
you become so good though.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
such a good driver now.
I bet
because-
afterwards you
I can
feel like you
parallel
could
park a
drive.
26-foot
You could
truck
be
now.
like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible and drive literally any car that they give you.
Yeah, that's kind of
Except a stick shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. So I had to drive. I drove a shorter box truck once. That was a like
I know which one you're talking
fucking with the
about.
clutch up to here. You have to lift up your leg. It was crazy. But after driving something like that, you're like, I'm ready for Monaco. I can do an
I
F1
think
race
the semis,
right now.
The semis have 18 gears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
fucking
wild.
insane. That's funny. The guys, because when you go to the moving company, all of the artist guys are like, if I just can get this like packet in shape. And then every single one of the guys that's like the neighborhood Latin kid, he's like, if I can get like the union job at FedEx, I can buy some property in Florida. I can take my family down there. And all of us are just trying to like, hopefully like get our dream. They're all just trying to like,
I want to get
Who
on
books the
Whiplash.
knit?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's why like I can't stand comics, like especially being at the Cellar now. Like there's a lot of those guys there who just have never worked hard. Who's like, just I can't. There's so many. I didn't realize how many billionaire children there are who looking to make a career in yucks, and it makes me fucking sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you?
There's
Well,
a
that's
lot
going to
of
be
them.
the entire business because they're the only
Yeah.
ones that are going to be able to afford having a full production team with them at all times.
Yeah.
Bro, tell me, I know, right?
Yeah, the elites are going to steal comedy like they stole journalism
And jazz,
and jazz.
and jazz.
And jazz.
Yeah. So I mean,
And gay sex. I don't know. Oh man.
but
Have
yeah,
you ever had an office job?
No.
Never. So
Never.
you've done just moving and comedy?
No, I did. I was like, I actually worked as a
caught
waiter.
kids for the state.
Yeah, I was a bounty hunter for boys. You need a little net. You don't need the big net.
That's like what the movie Newsies is based on. It's like a singing musical with a bounty hunter after these children.
It's pretty easy. You can put a Call of Duty game box on a stump, and if
Hey, little trick of the trade. They love snacks.
Bag of flaming hot Cheetos.
get a Lunchable, you just set it. You set it out. You set out a Lunchable. Your net's small. It's easy to hide.
Yeah. So
This is what Peter used to do in the truck the whole time. The whole time he would do that soft, creepy Staten Island voice where he'd be like, sometimes men can touch and it's not weird.
I love doing that to other guys. It's so funny to me. It's like, hey, a couple of guys in a truck, right? Come on. Who's gonna know? Nobody's gonna know.
Who's gonna know?
I know what I like to do. I like to do this, like, especially if it's a smaller guy, because it's funny to use your size. So I'm like, hey, it's a fun game. Keeping secrets. Everybody wins when you keep a secret. They're like, are you joking? I'm like,
if you are.
Right. Yeah, it's a gag. Yeah. But I worked as a waiter for this place. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I did like cater waitering for a long time. But I got fired from that. That's the only job I got fired from.
No shit. Would you that's obviously doing events and stuff going from those places, or they were coming to you?
No, they would have events at the space, and I would go there, and
So it was like party down.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was exactly it, cater waitering, and I got fired from that because at New York Comedy Club years ago, they asked me to do like check spots, and I just said yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can do it. So I left. I was dressed in all black, and I just like left to go do 2 check spots, and then the first time I got away with it, they're like, "Where'd you go?" I'm like, "I just need some fresh air." And then the second time they were like, "Don't come back." And I was like,
No
"All right,
shit.
you got me. You got me."
Wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they just clocked you and knew you were gone for like an hour or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I was like,
It was in the middle of an active
I've been
shift.
fired from so
Yeah.
many jobs.
I'm dressed in all black with a tie on stage. I'm like, fucking, my wife's a bitch, dude.
This is no good. No good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only job I got fired
What
from.
did you just mutter over there? You've been fired by so many jobs.
I've been fired by so many jobs.
Really?
And I've also been fired in a way where they're like, can you come back here? And I'm like, you guys don't even need to take me back there.
Yeah.
I know it.
I'm good.
I'll get my bag, send me the email. We're good.
I'm trying to think if I had other
I mean,
jobs.
I worked for this TV show in LA. This is why I don't have TV writing jobs anymore. I was on this TV job and I was getting pretty decent money, not like real writer money, but good money. And my superiors called me and they're like, Andy, we read over your script. We were hoping you could come in today and we could go over like some changes that we had in mind. And I was like, I'm sorry, you guys, I am in Jackson Hole. And they were like, you're supposed to be at work. And I was like, yeah, but like, it was like not a lot to do today. So I flew up to Jackson Hole to ski. They were like, you suck.
Wow, you've had such an arc where you're like this fucking, unbelievable. Like you sound like a real jerk off. And then you go to the moving company. I mean, I feel like the moving thing was the best thing to happen to you.
Yeah,
you would have been an absolute monster if
you're one of the more motivated people I've ever met to do things like by yourself. Like I would never in my entire life fly to Jackson Hole or anywhere for a day. Like in the middle of a job or it would never dawn on me to do that. Like I'm impressed by it.
It's
by
just
the way.
Seattle. It's just like because the mountains are. 2
I think
hours
it's
away.
Andy.
Yeah, a little bit.
I
did go on a hike last week. This felt pretty good. I went on a hike. I was like, I'm going to get a hike in, and then nobody else wanted to go with me, and so I picked a harder hike, and I made it to like 9,500 feet, and the snow was there, so I was like out of trail.
Yeah,
and I was like, I gotta get to 10K. So I went around the trail so that I could get up to 10K, and I was like, that felt fucking, that was good. And then I went down and did shows. That's my ideal life, is that I
just wander in the woods.
I'm one with nature, and I still can do comedy.
Was that? Do you think the 10K is OCD or what is that?
It was just like a goal I had in mind. I was like, I want to get to 10K.
That's a nice way to put it. It was a goal.
But it's so weird. I think this is like something because like sometimes I'll bitch to you about comedy, and the thing that I have trouble with comedy is like it's not just hard work. Hard work is like that's the overall.
Yeah.
But there's a nuance to it and stuff like that. And with moving, I can just go ugh and just do it.
Right. Your effort pays off.
Yeah, and you can write forever. I mean, we know people that are like they've been doing it for a long time and they are not good at it. It's not a fair.
Yeah, I mean that 10,000 hours thing is not necessarily true for everybody. There are people with 50,000 hours of something that they still suck at.
They just can't, which is kind of impressive. Like, how do you not like take the hint?
No, you should fall ass backwards into ability. Like if you're doing it that often and that much, you should have some.
Well, it's weird though
idea.
because I think there's a lot of things. I don't know why comedy's so tricky because I do think that if you practice piano for 10,000 hours, you'll be pretty fucking good at piano.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be like fucking able to like riff and do improv, but you'll be able to play a fucking song whenever you sit down.
Yeah.
I think some people are so rancid. Like some people's personalities are so just disgusting that they just can't. They go on stage and immediately people go, I don't like this guy or this woman.
Yeah.
All right.
Women can be unlikable.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Yeah, comedy. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. It's the dumbest thing. But it's very fun, and I just want to fight every comic at the cellar. Not every comic, but there's so many comics at the cellar. I'm like, I want to fight you. Like we should fight.
When's the last fight you got into,
bro? This happened, and I don't.
Oh, yeah, I was there that night.
Oh God, it didn't. All right, so I don't have road rage, which sounds like I have road rage.
I'm not the devil,
right? I'm not the devil. I'm not a demon.
I'm not the devil.
Because come on, but so I was driving from Staten Island into Manhattan, so I had to take the Battery Tunnel, and there's one lane of traffic in the tunnel. There's a UPS driver behind me. It stands still, nowhere to go. So when I'm in the tunnel, I give about 2 car lengths because. Why am I going to be right on the back of the bumper?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. So I have the space. This UPS driver is losing his mind that there's 2 car lengths in front of me, that I'm not right up this guy's ass. Flashing, honking the horn. Come on, there's 2 lanes. Let's go. There's 2 cars. Come on, fucking get it. And I'm like, all right. And what I do then I'm like, all right, now I'll really go slow.
Yeah.
You want me to go slow? I'll go
I'm
slow.
digging in.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going really slow. He's like driving up real close. Stopping, like acting like he's going to hit me.
Wow.
So I just lost it. I was just like, all right, just stop the car, put it in park. And I was like, let's go. We're going to fight. We're going to fight right now.
In the tunnel,
fucking Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Mortal Kombat.
Shit.
The guy, I was like, there's nowhere to fucking, like, you can see. You're in a truck. There's nowhere to fucking go. I gotta get in there. I'm like, you're a fucking retard. And I just so mad. He didn't come out of the truck. He didn't. If he would have though, we just would have fought in the tunnel.
Yeah.
I was so mad, and it's so hard to get me that angry. Where I'm just like, I didn't even have to think about it. I'm like, all right, here we go.
I think you might be the only real man in comedy. It's
No,
very bizarre.
there's more than
There's
a
some
few.
guys from the hood, but the only real white man.
That might be true. Oh, that should be your title of your special.
yeah.
That'll sell like
The only
100.
real white man in comedy.
And I'm just like, yeah. And then a lot of my bits are like, women have a point too. And I was like, what? This is not what I thought the only white man in comedy would talk about.
You ever cry when you watch The Notebook? Anyways, no, it's interesting to me. This might be like
But
too
that's
personal.
crazy, right? I mean, but that's
No.
Yeah.
that's unreasonable. Like
Here's the thing: I can relate to both of you in that story because I can get really angry about something that's happening in front of me, but it has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So that guy's not mad at you.
I knew that. I'm like, I knew. I was like, you're having a bad day. I know you're having you're a
He's having a
UPS
bad-
driver,
he's
and you're
having a
going into
bad-
Manhattan. You're putting boxes in bigger boxes.
Yeah.
Things are bad. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, but I
Good
just
benefits though.
that is true.
Good bennies.
It's true.
Great Benny's Teamsters.
Yeah.
Are they part of the team?
UPS's Teamsters.
Really?
No shit.
Yeah,
Really? I didn't even know
I had
that.
to join the Teamsters to work for UPS. Anyways,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Christmas helper back in college.
Wow.
But something I noticed.
Damn. I was gonna try to do that once I fucking left comedy. Now it's a process.
yeah. Now you
gotta
have
know
there's a waiting
somebody?
list. Fuck.
I got to get an apprentice book.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you. I didn't see you for a couple years, and then you came back to the cellar, and I feel like you had like a pivot or something. Was that like a conscious thing?
What do you mean?
I don't know. There was because when we moved, you were kind of like, I don't know. There was like a heaviness to you. Like
Yeah,
you were
so I'm
pissed.
moving
Yeah,
furniture.
you were pissed about moving and stuff like that. And then I think it was even worse when you like left because you were just on Staten Island.
Oh man. Yeah, that was bleak.
And then I saw you at the cellar, and the one thing I know about you that's good is that you like. You're
The one
grateful.
The one
lots of
thing I
things.
know about you.
There's a
that's
lot of
good
bad things.
is
Most
the
of it's
fucking-
bad.
But there is one good thing. If I gun to my head.
Gun to my head. If I had to say something nice, he's the devil. But
yeah.
no, but I would say like one like undeniable thing is that you are very grounded and like real about this. Like when we talk about stuff
Yeah.
and you're like, you got a fucking kid and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But was it just the switch was just like you getting back into the cellar and having that, or was
Well,
there
I've
something like before that?
I was never there. That was that saved my life. But going into this, I was ready to I had like $200 in my bank account. Like it was like over. So I was like, I'm going to just try to, I was like piecing together so many, like those stupid gigs. You know those gigs you put on, like, you go to the breweries, you go up to Boston and I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And you're just breaking even.
Yeah, you're making like $150
Yes.
after 4 nights.
Staying at a Red Roof Inn. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, what is going I'm like, all right, okay. And I was gladly doing it, but it's just no money. And then finally the cellar happened. So I'm just very, just grateful for that happening. It's like it saved my life. But also I let go of bitterness. Like there's so many people who are so, like I was bitter too, where it's like, even before I even got into the cellar, I was like, this is horrible. I'm like, nothing's owed to you.
Right.
Nothing is owed to you. People act like, well, it's supposed to happen. No. Who told you life is fair?
Can I ask you the process from intellectualizing that to actually feeling it? Like, how did you do that?
You just
How do you let go of bitterness?
Can you tell us how you do that?
I just realized mid question, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. How do
Is
you
there
do
like
that?
steps?
I think you just have to accept that, like, the only thing that's like, all right, I like doing stand-up comedy. And if the answer is yes, then it's like, that's going to carry you through so much.
Mhm.
Because you're like, do I get to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to do it. So you're like, oh, like, there's how many people do we know that like they want to do stand-up and they can't
Totally.
do it?
Yeah.
But that's the thing about stand-up too. Like different from piano. People have to be like, oh yes, you can do stand-up.
yeah.
Whereas like if it's an instrument, you can just play and tool around in your basement for how many hours?
Right.
So like you get to do it. Like a lot of people can't, or not even in that way. I don't know. It sounds whatever. We're successful in that way. I think that we're able to do it so often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
It's funny also because I think like the bitterness thing, like I was like in love with my story for so long. I think I've heard people talk about this, but I like for my first like 3 years back from
Yeah, I mean, if
Back
anyone,
from-
if anyone
from
was allowed
LA.
to be bitter, it's you, the guy who came from LA, and it's like there's a moving truck blowing diesel fucking fumes
Yeah,
in your
like-
face, and just like.
But I was so grateful for that job when it popped up, and then I started to be like, hold on a fucking second, this was supposed to be temporary. But
I'm a co-owner.
I
of
would
this
tell
company now.
people, like I would tell people, I'd be like, you're not going to believe what happened to me. And they'd be like, okay. And I'd be like, I was a TV writer and now I'm a mover. And they'd be like, cool. And I was like, no, you don't get it. It's like the worst thing that's ever happened to somebody. And they'd be like, nah. Like I talked to visual artists, like painters and stuff like that. Like I met them through the program. And I'd be like, you guys aren't going to believe this. I had to get a job. And they were like, yeah, dumbass.
Yeah,
you chose art.
Yeah.
What did you think you were going to get like an award just for showing up? Like it was
Yeah.
the old times where you got a patron? No.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're going back to that time though.
What?
It's like back to having like patrons. Like I think that's.
Well, we literally are.
Yeah, literally are. Yeah, you're gonna have these rich families who like, all right, we're gonna cultivate this guy's talent, because. I mean, that's kind of
It's
what
back
it
to
is
the
now.
billionaire children.
I'm a comedian from the House of Montague. They sponsor me
Yeah.
in my tour.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're getting close. I mean, it's that or right what you were saying, where all the rich kids are gonna. 'Cause I didn't think about that. Right, you're right. You need like a production team.
I think that's
following you
I think
around.
that's what's going to happen to a lot of entertainment and a lot of art is that it's going to get kind of I mean it's already happening is homogenization. I think of like comics used to not do something because another comic did it.
Yeah.
Now comics do stuff because another comic did it
Yeah.
and it worked. Like Man on the Street, somebody
Yeah.
did it and you're like, "Oh shit, like I guess they got to it, so I got to not do it until maybe they stop doing it and I'll find a new thing
It's
or whatever."
my Man on the Street.
But yeah, and then
Yeah.
everybody just does Man on the Street, which is fair game. It's different. It's their thing. They can do whatever they want.
Hold
I'm
on.
not-
What about this?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about going down to Washington Square Park where they all do the Man on the Street.
Yes.
And interviewing them while they're doing the Man on the Street.
I like
Being a
that.
Man on the Street,
Dude.
mid Man on the Street.
Or-
Interstellar Man on the Street.
yeah.
They them on the street.
Oh, okay, I
Mm.
get-
A person on the street.
Talking back, have a conversation.
But yeah, it's a. I don't know. You guys bitter? Yeah. Still.
I'm just
No.
I'm more bitter at myself than I am at anything else. Like I don't think anything else owes me anything. I think
Yeah.
I owe myself stuff, and I think I've fallen short to myself, and I get really hard on myself.
I can
about
see
that
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
My-
see like how. Yeah, I feel that way. Yeah, it's like who's the someone has to be to blame.
I'm the only one that gets the blame. Like I'm
That's
so
healthy.
I'm so brutal with myself in a way that like you can't even really explain it to anybody because it just sounds like made up.
Yeah.
And nobody. If I talk like it kind of sounds funny, but it's literally how I'm talking to myself and like a
You
really
piece
like
of shit. You
truly
fuck-
it would be
yeah.
fistfights all day every day if anybody else. That's why at the smallest disrespect,
Right.
I'm ready to fucking snap on somebody in the real world because I'm just disrespecting myself all day,
Yeah.
every day.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe.
Never thought of that until right this second.
I don't think I'm bitter anymore after the kid. I do have bitterness, but I think actually like in the last 6 months, probably since we started this podcast, I went back to therapy. I like
Yeah.
adjusted my meds and I have been pretty copacetic about like
Look what I've done.
little
for you.
things.
Yeah.
I
Thank you, Mike.
I owe it all to Nicole.
She does. She's a miracle worker.
I call Nicole every weekend when I go, that's tickets aren't selling. And she goes, Andy, remember you chose this life.
As you hear Taylor Tomlinson's crowd.
yeah. I'm like, what's that? She's like, I'm watching something on.
Hey, give it up for the videographer, Nicole C. Lyons.
She has a best
The
boy.
audience knows Nicole's name.
Nicomeless pimp.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
You got to start wearing stupid clothes.
I'll bring my sunflower pants next time.
Yeah. Where are we at time wise?
We're good. We're over an hour.
Oh.
Okay.
Gucci.com.
I like a positive message at the end. That was nice.
I feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel good too. Thanks
Petey,
for having me on, boys.
we got to get you back on. That was such
Yeah.
an easy conversation. We didn't talk about comedy that much.
Who needs to talk about it? God damn
I
it.
love Peter Revello.
I do
wanna- I
too.
want to triple co-sign this
Oh,
guy.
you
He's
guys.
fucking hilarious
Yeah.
also.
Is that right?
And again, you've always been funny. Always. I mean, we've worked together for a while.
Yeah.
And then in the last
I think you're the
year
next
or whatever,
Paul Verzi.
In the last
I'm not,
year, dude,
I'm not
you
Italian enough for that.
and I like
And
you've
Greek,
made a
whatever.
jump
Cut that out.
in terms of like.
What'd you say?
I'm just gonna keep
I
going
said
with
cut
my
that out.
compliment.
I'm sorry,
to nobody.
Mike.
No, I appreciate
being
it. No,
ADD.
No, I mean this not as like I'm no position of authority or anything like that. I'm just saying in terms of what I've been watching and
Yeah.
observing and seeing is like, dude, you're killing on another level. Your jokes are fucking hilarious. They're thoughtful. They go where you don't anticipate. It's
That's
just
nice.
it's really strong, really great stuff. And
Yeah.
anytime I see you on stage, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm jealous,
Trying, man.
I get
Trying.
jealous when I see you on stage. I'm like, how the fuck did he write that joke? It's so many fucking tags and angles.
Just because you just have to have a deep, you guys, it's the emptiness where you're like, maybe I'll write, if I write enough,
Yeah, it'll fill
and then
my
it'll
holes.
be fine. Yeah, but I don't know. But do you guys feel that way too, though, about the other comics sometimes? Like, I just being, especially at the Cellar, where you start to meet the famous, like the big people.
Yeah.
The really big. And this is like, I've never interacted with any of these guys. Like,
Yeah.
the door opened, and all of a sudden you get to, almost all of them are fucking freaks.
Dehumanizing maniacs.
Freakazoids.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, you're like, no, this can't, is this the secret? Is this what's required?
It is the
It is
secret.
the
It's
secret.
being a
It's-
monster.
You have to be,
Yeah.
you
You have to be an absolute, like,
Yeah, or at
The
least
world
be able
owes
to wear
me-
that mask.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to be able to put on the scream mask
Oh.
and bang a kid. Or
I know
something.
very few.
Yeah, why does it always end up with that? Just like, we're at the height of our success. Where are the children?
What else is there to do?
Bring out the dancing boys.
I've filled the arenas. I've made the millions. What else will sate the devil inside me? Hi, I'm Connor. You will do, boy. Peter shows up with his net. I got one.
A point for you, Chappelle.
Yeah,
Just
that's
put
gonna
your
happen.
cigarette out on him.
Yeah. Peter,
guys.
I love you, man. You
Love you
are
too. Yeah.
so
You're the best.
fucking funny.
Love
Do you have
Nicole?
anything you want to plug?
Keep it going.
Are you going out on the road?
No,
or-
absolutely not. I have nothing. But if you want to come, you want to check out my social media,
Yeah.
see that.
And you're also at the Cellar every night.
So yeah, pretty
nights a week.
frequently, yeah.
So go
For
down.
now, that all, you know.
Yeah.
You really have
But
to.
Peter's so funny. Go see him, and I'm
So
sure
funny.
that he's going to be a household name very soon.
No.
he's,
Goddamn
he's
right.
so fucking
not
good.
going to happen.
Michael,
MikeCannonComedy.com, July 18th and 19th, Austin, Texas, at the
Ooh.
Creek in the Cave, 4 shows. YouTube.com/MikeCannonComedy. I'm putting a lot of stuff up there, most in futility, but I'm hoping that a lot of you will come on over and please help boost my ticket sales on the road. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mike.
punchup.live.com /Andy Haynes. Tickets are all on there. I think it's Sonoma, Portland,
Oh,
Las Vegas, London, Halifax, St. John. I don't know where else I am. I think I'm some other places too. Maybe San Francisco. I don't know.
Yeah.
But go to
Wait,
Punch Up.
I
Go to my
have
Punch
one-
Up
I
page.
have one
Oh, and
thing.
subscribe to my YouTube, please.
I have literally
Peter has a
one
date.
thing. Hold on.
Peter
Yeah.
has a date.
Wait. It's at, wait a minute. Hold the fort. Here it comes. It's Punchline Philly, but what date? July something? I don't know. Wait.
Punchline Philly.
11th,
No.
18th,
Just going to do the date. It's a Thursday. God
Okay.
damn it.
10th.
10th.
No. Fuck.
17th.
How do you guys,
Because
wait.
we have
24th.
weekends.
I'm so bad at
Because Andy
this.
and I play a lot of Thursdays.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I have a Thursday.
Well, it's not the 4th.
What the fuck? I'm looking at this shit. God damn it.
I don't think you
I don't
ever were
know.
in Philly.
Listen, it's going to happen. Keep an eye
Go to
out.
Keep
the
an eye out on
go to
Philly.
the Punchline Philly and look at their calendar.
Yeah, it's
You'll see
July.
this handsome guy.
It's July something.
Best hair in the biz.
All right.
All right. Thank
Goodbye.
you guys.
Bye.